When your wife asks for ratatouille, you make it.
Hey everybody, I'm Chef Dad, and this is my Ratatouille 2 ways.
Okay, we're gonna make some ratatouille. But we're gonna make it 2 ways, and we're gonna make it so unique. These are my fermented tomatoes. We are gonna build our sauce off of this. This is everything that's gonna be in the ratatouille. The 2 kinds that we're gonna make is we're gonna make the pretty kind. They're all layered. The other kind is just gonna be the traditional, where you just cut everything up, put it in the pan, and cook it for hours. Let's get started. So, what's going in the sauce? We're gonna have tomatoes and some basil and some bell peppers, salt, parsley, onion, garlic. Gotta have the garlic, of course. Eggplant. First step in getting our sauce ready is we are going to toast our bell peppers and our tomatoes. That way we can get the skins off of them. Tomatoes first. Ratatouille was a meal for necessity back World War II. So you just basically used what you had left. A lot of the gourd, vegetables and stuff that were heartier, that lasted longer, you can make into a hearty stew. We're gonna get some cellophane over here. Just gonna let them steam away there for a little bit, and that'll loosen up all the skins. That way it'll make it a whole lot easier to peel. These are the fermented tomatoes. Just gonna peel the top off of here. Okay, there's a little glass weight inside there that's holding all those down. So I'm going to dump the liquid off. These are gonna go right in here. And we're gonna go in with all of them. So I want those to go in first, along with some of our heartier stuff, garlic and onion. So I want them to break down. Garlic, about 4 cloves of garlic. So you're just gonna have to crush your garlic a little bit. And these don't have to be tiny, because we're gonna end up using the immersion blender to make our sauce nice and smooth in the end. Again, it's not gonna matter how consistent these are. You do want to be able to cook all the flavor out of them, but we are going to go through with an immersion blender later and make it a nice smooth sauce. Don't cut your fingers off. Get the right burner on. We are going to put just some high quality. This is our high quality olive oil. Just going to coat the bottom of the pan for right now. So I want that to get up to temperature, and then we're going to add in our onion and our garlic. See the tomatoes start popping and moving. See? That's what we want. Now we're going to go in with all of this. So I'm going to turn that temperature down now. And I'm just going to let them move around for a minute. So as you can see, that skin will just peel right off. A little bit's fine. It's not going to hurt anybody. I wanted a little bit of the smoky char on there too. So why not add another level of flavor? Why not add another level of flavor? This right here would make one heck of a tomato soup too. Just saying. Let everything start sweating together. And we'll turn it up again once we get absolutely everything in there. So now let's just continue getting our peppers and our tomatoes going. So we're just gonna go through, finish getting this last one skin. Okay, then we're gonna cut it up and get it in there. Perfect wow wow. Okay, I'm gonna set this temperature down super low. Okay, right here we have some basil. We're just gonna go over with about that much for now, and I'll add a little bit more at the end. This is Italian parsley. And we are gonna go in with our Italian parsley. Then we're gonna go in with some beautiful smoked Chef Dad smoked salt. This is basically where all the seasoning is going to come from, except for when we make the fancy one, because we season every piece. But we just need this to cook down, break down, so it's going to cook here for quite some time. And then we're going to go in with some fortified white wine, which we're going to use vermouth for that. So we're just going to let that go. Start on a 2 and see if that gives us the slices that we want. And we're just going to cut the very bottom off of that. And check with the mandolin, and that's about how we want them. A little bit thick, but it'll be all right. So we'll just keep on going. So we're gonna take this and just lay them out. Different sizes are fine, don't worry about it. Simple seasoning. We're gonna go through with a little bit of salt, and this is gonna help start getting some of that liquid out of there too. We're gonna end up with a lot of liquid on our cutting board. Pepper. Same thing here, we're just gonna cut the end of it off. And go on the same thickness. Don't be a dummy. Use your cut-proof gloves. Mandolin can be aggressive. So what you're gonna wanna do is layer them all to one side. You're gonna leave them all on one side. It doesn't matter what, I mean, you can put it over here on this side. It really doesn't matter. But these are all gonna get stacked so that these stick out towards the top. So now, the same thing, you go through and season. And I'm not gonna put pepper on these ones. I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt across them. So now for a contrast color, we're gonna go in with green. Cut the end of it off. Keep an eye on your sauce cooking down over here. You want everything to break down. Mandolin. So now we're just going to go through and layer these on here. Now we have one more color to go. We just need to dust these with a little bit of salt. So I think we're going to do something a little crazy here and go with this big Mama Jamma. Okay, got an heirloom tomato. It was like $5 for this thing. Why an heirloom tomato? Because they have a better flavor. So let's see how much of a mess we made with that, because it's a little bit soft. Don't worry, you're not going to notice that it looks like a disaster when I stack them. Okay, so now we got all those set. We need our sauce done before we can stack them. So we'll bring it back when the sauce is closer to being done. Oh my. That is gonna be like, woo! That's really good. Okay, so I turned it down on low. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my immersion blender here. I'm gonna go through and break everything down. And this is an Amazon Basic, the most impressive immersion blender I've ever had. I'm going to turn this up on its side and get this going. And this is all whatever you want it to be, whatever consistency you want it to end up on. And I'm going to go in with our vermouth. How much vermouth am I going to go in with? It's probably going to be about 1/4 cup. So now that I put that vermouth in there, I'm going to go through and I'm going to turn it one more time. So now that's to the consistency that we want. I'm going to crank the temp up a little bit. Can you bring me that torch? Toast that top just for some extra smokiness. The vermouth did it. It definitely leveled the playing field on that one. So you can make a decision here. You could keep this going for a long time and bring it down. I want it to be a little bit watery. We're gonna get 2 different kinds of ratatouille out of this. This is gonna be a nice base on it. I'm gonna stack everything in that tray. Then we're gonna get them in the oven. Okay, now it's time to assemble. So we're gonna get some of this delicious sauce. Sure the bottom of the dish is completely covered. So now we're going to start stacking all of our veggies. Set them right in. Corners can be tricky. Just take your time. Don't be in a rush. If you have excess water, just wring them out a little bit. How do you make it less watery? Several different ways you can go about it. Adding your salt and letting them sit. These have sat here for about 45 minutes. So a lot of the moisture is coming out of them. Another way is when you're baking them, you can bake them at 350 degrees and leave them covered for 2 hours. Then uncover them and finish them up. Okay, you don't want to have any free space. Just like that, we've got our ratatouille ready to go in the oven. Okay, now we're going to get our oven set to 350 degrees. Now we're going to get the other version going. I'm going to drape some of this right into the bottom of it. Again, you want to cover the bottom. And being as we already have some of these cut up, we're just going to put them in there. So we're just going to line these across the bottom. This is not a sliced recipe, but they were already sliced, so. Eggplant, girthy. We're almost full. They will cook at a little bit different rate, but they'll both be done in just about an hour and a half to 2 hours. This one may cook a little bit slower just because it's thicker chunks, but it's also going to have more fluid in it from the sauce, because I'm going to go over the top of this with the sauce. Okay, now we're going to go on with our sauce over the top. Okay, I'm just going to dust this with a little bit of basil on top. They're on cookie sheets because just in case they overflow a little bit, because there's a lot of liquid inside of these. About an hour and a half. The leftover soup, right here. Sauce. This would make phenomenal pizza sauce. It would make, just put it in a cup. You could add a little bit of cream to this, mix it up, and it's a perfect bisque. It is packed with flavor. It doesn't need anything. It is the best V8 juice you've ever had in your life. And better for you. Okay, there we go. There's our timer for the ratatouille. So let's take a look. There's the first one. Looks beautiful. Beautiful. Now we're going to pull out the stew-style ratatouille. Know about you, but them turned out mighty fine looking. Now we're going to have a comparison. We're going to get in here. Then we're going to grab some of this one. Okay, we're going to give this ratatouille a taste. I want a little bit of everything on here. Need some eggplant, need some squash, need some zucchini. Need lots of that beautiful sauce. Oh, I don't think you've had ratatouille like that. I know I haven't. That is delicious. That fermented tomato, whoo, really put it over the top. Still got enough crunch to it that it's not just mush. Let's take a full stack here of this fancy ratatouille. I prefer it that way. You get so much more of that tomato. One thing you could do, scoop out a little bit of that beautiful broth and roll it right over the top. But I didn't make this for myself. I made it for my wife. Well, let's see what she thinks.
That's really good. That's like the perfect fall dinner. Just all the veggies and all the flavor. I like all the veggies.
You know what it's missing? Meat.
I'm not sure how to eat this.
Just take it all.
I like the stew better. I like the chunky country style stew.
I like
Versus that because that's too big of bites. I like the chunky little bites.
That's what she said. All right. Yep. I mean, other than it doesn't have any meat in it. It's good. All right, everybody. This video YouTube picked for you. This one I picked for you. There's a subscription button over here.